My wife didn't just cheat on me, she set my life on fire, literally. And as I watched my world burn, I realized I was the only one who didn't see it coming. But before I unravel the madness that led to that moment, if you enjoy stories that dig deep into betrayal, redemption, and second chances, please subscribe to my new YouTube channel. Your likes and subscriptions will help this channel grow, and I'd really appreciate your support. Now, back to the insanity that was my life. I never thought I'd be the kind of guy who got cheated on. Not because I thought I was perfect, far from it, but because Catherine and I had history. We weren't just some random couple who met in our late 20s and rushed into marriage. No, we were childhood sweethearts, high school best friends, the couple everyone thought would last forever. I met Catherine when I was 16 on a spring afternoon that felt like it had been made for a love story. Her red hair caught the sunlight just right. Her green eyes had this mischievous spark, and she had a laugh that made you want to laugh with her. We became inseparable. The kind of love where you finish each other's sentences, where every touch feels electric. She was passionate, fierce, maybe a little too fierce. But back then, I thought her temper was just part of what made her exciting. She wasn't a pushover, and I loved that about her. She was strong-willed, stubborn, and knew exactly what she wanted. And for a long time, she made me believe that what she wanted was me. We got married young, barely 20, convinced that love was all we needed. We didn't have much, but we had each other, and for a while, that was enough. Then life got bigger. I worked as a mechanic, long hours, hands covered in grease. She worked retail, bouncing between jobs until she landed a position at an insurance office. Money was tight, but we made it work. And then, when I was 28, I got an offer. A local Napa Auto Parts franchise owner saw my work, my ability to handle customers, and made me a deal. He'd train me in management, let me run his store, and if things went well, I could buy it from him after a decade. It was a huge opportunity. I came home that night, excited to tell Catherine. I thought she'd be happy. Instead, she was furious. "You made this decision without me?" She snapped, arms crossed, her jaw tight. I was confused. It was good news. I explained how it would give us stability, how it would let me be there for our kids' games. She didn't care. She was angry that I hadn't discussed it with her first, that it wasn't in writing. That was the first time I really saw the cracks in our marriage. Still, I took the job. Over the years, I worked my ass off. Our finances improved. We had kids, bought a house, built a life. But Catherine changed. Her temper grew shorter. Arguments turned into battles. She started belittling me, making snide comments about my job, my lack of ambition. Then, 2 years ago, something shifted again. She became distant. At first, I thought it was stress, work, parenting, life. But deep down, I knew. The way she looked at me had changed. And then 3 months ago, I saw the text. "So did he do it?" It was from a number I didn't recognize, a simple 5-word message that made my stomach drop. That night, I lay next to her in bed, pretending I didn't feel like my world was crumbling. I needed proof. I had to be sure. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I followed her. Wednesday afternoon. She left work early, drove across town, parked in front of a cheap motel, and then, right in front of me, she walked into a room where her boss, Benson, was waiting. I took the picture as the door closed behind them. That was it. That was all I needed. My marriage was over. But the worst part? That was only the beginning. I don't know what I expected when I confronted her that night. Tears, an apology, anything but what I got. When I showed her the picture, she didn't deny it. She didn't even look surprised. Instead, she smiled, and then she said, "Well, now you know." Just like that. No guilt, no regret, just cold indifference. Something inside me snapped. I told her I was done, that I wanted her out. That's when she lost it. She started screaming, throwing things, clawing at me like a wild animal. And then, later that night, after she stormed out, she set my garage on fire with me inside. I woke up to the smell of smoke, the crackling of flames, the heat pressing against my skin. For a moment, I thought I was dreaming. Then I saw her, standing outside, watching it burn. She was smiling. I barely made it out, twisted my ankle jumping from the second floor, crawled away, coughing from the smoke, my lungs burning. By the time the fire department arrived, the garage was gone. And Catherine? She was laughing as the police put her in handcuffs. "Take it away, you assholes. Let it burn." That was the last thing she said before they shoved her into the back of the squad car. I wish I could say that was the end of the nightmare. But it wasn't, because Catherine wasn't done with me yet. The next few months were hell. The divorce was ugly. The restraining order kept her away, but that didn't stop her from trying to manipulate our kids, from spreading lies, from trying to make my life miserable in every way possible. She tried to make me feel like I was the villain, like I was the one who ruined everything. But you know what? I survived. And I didn't just survive, I thrived. I got my business, built my life back up, and slowly I started living again. And Catherine, she lost everything, her job, her reputation, her control over me. One night, after everything was finalized, she called me. "Kurt, I'm sorry." And for the first time, I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, just freedom. So I told her the truth. "It's too late for sorry, Catherine." Then I hung up. And just like that, I was finally free. I don't know what the future holds. But what I do know is this: betrayal doesn't define you. What you do after it does. And if you ever find yourself standing in front of the flames of your past, watching everything you thought you knew burn to the ground, walk away. Let it burn and start over. Because sometimes, from the ashes of heartbreak, we are reborn. If you like this story, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Your support means the world to me. And trust me, I've got plenty more stories to tell.